Hey everybody, this is John from Elite Personal Fitness. Today's do's and don'ts, we're going to talk about working with the elderly population. So typically somebody around 80 years old and up. I've had a bunch of experience way when I first started training, working with those people when I was at Upstate at the Human Performance Building, and it kind of gave me a better insight of what these people really kind of need in their life, and kind of also goes back on focusing on, you know, the program is created for that specific person and what they need to work on and what is actually important to them. So typically these people in the elderly population, I'll just say 80 and above, typically want to have some sort of independence. So they want to still be able to go to the grocery store. They still want to be able to, you know, if they fall, they don't want to be worried about breaking something. They want to be able to get up on by themselves and have some independence in their own life. So what we don't want to do with these people is train them like a 40 or a 30-year-old to where they're lifting big heavy weights, even picking up something off the ground that's really heavy. You want to be very careful with that, and stuff that they just need in their life is what you actually need to do. So big things that we focus on is one with grip strength. So a lot of the things that we do, we have them hold on and be intentional about it. So say if they're going to do, you know, they're going to grab the TRX handles, they're going to be, you know, squeezing tight, and you want to think that their fingers are going to melt through, and say they're doing TRX rows. You know, a big part of this is one, yeah, we want to get some, you know, so they can grab and pull and still be strong in that, but we also need to focus on grip strength, because say if they are going to fall, they need to be able to grab something and help themselves so they're not actually falling down. And then getting up and down off the ground. Now that is going to be very dependent on the person. So sometimes they can't get up and off the ground. Okay, so based off of injuries or anything like that, so we really want to make them solid standing up so that they don't fall. But if they can, have the ability to work on getting down to the ground, we try to. So usually we have, say, a handle right here, and then what we'll do is we'll have them kneel down to the ground. Okay, put their other knee down, and then they stand up, and then they help themselves by pushing themselves up so that they can get up and down. This one helps. If they do fall, they're able to get up. Okay, and then them working on getting up and down, obviously they get total body strength from it. You know, picking up groceries, if they're going to get groceries out of the car, or go to a grocery store and come back, they have to bring the groceries in. So they have to be able to, one, like step up on stuff. So we'll put, say, you know, let's see, we'll put plates on the ground, okay? Kind of a stair height, maybe we stack another one on there, and they step up and then stand up. So if they have to get stairs, okay, imagine they have one hand to free so they can grab on and then lift up, okay? And also too, maybe we grab some dumbbells and they put them on, say, a bench, and they pick up from there. So if they grab here and then pick up, if they're strong enough, they can use a bar, or we can just have dumbbells here, they kind of bend over and then lift up, okay? Because they're usually not going to be picking up something, you know, heavy from the ground. It's usually from the back of their car or whatever it may be. And also a big part of what we do is standing up. Because they're going to be standing and sitting most of their time, you know, they stand up, typically people will have their legs really kind of close, and they just try to use just their quads to kind of power through. But where they need a lot of strength, and one also for falling, they want to have their hips strong, because usually a hip break, you know, sadly can sometimes be a death sentence for some people. So when we squat them, we want their feet nice and wide and kind of their knees out. So it's not just their quads, they're using their glutes and their butt to stand up. Okay, and then sitting back, and then getting used to doing so. Now, almost all of these movements, especially in the beginning, they're holding on to something. Okay, we don't want to give them the insecurity, we want to build them up to it. So they're holding on, they're going to sit back, you know, stand up, just from there, and even if they do something with one leg, if we can build them up to it, they can step back, and they're using, you know, one, increasing their grip strength, but also keeping them safe. And kind of the last thing that we work on is, most of the time, they only are walking kind of forward. So the chances of falling are greater because they don't train out to the side or even go backwards. So like say if they try to step back and they hit their foot on something like I almost just did, the chances of them falling is greater. So what we work on is, say they hold onto a wall, we usually do the dumbbell rack up front, but we make them narrow their stance even more and try to go one foot in front of the other And then when they come back, we make them walk backwards. And one, helps a lot with their balance, helps a lot with their coordination. They're typically not moving backwards, so it's good to work on it. So if they ever have to, it's not foreign. But also then we would have them face the wall, and we'd have them step out to the side and try to really kind of step out big, so that, you know, if they lose their footing and they have to step out to kind of save themselves, they're able to. And it's not something where they go like this and they get stuck and then they fall all the way down. So these are the things that you should be doing with somebody that is, you know, over 80, typically somebody that wants to be more independent, but also just live a longer, healthier life and not being scared of falling, feeling more confident with it. What you shouldn't be doing, I mean, we're not really big on pressing them overhead. They rarely need to push something overhead, and also the risk of injury really isn't, it's not really worth it. We do have them press, okay, like say up at an elevated thing. We don't need to get them all the way down to the ground to do push-ups. Kind of like the, you know, we don't need them bench pressing. They never really need to put a bar on their back. There's lots of, like, I guess you could say, which is like the normal exercises, you know, for say a 30-year-old, we don't really do. The stuff you should be doing is things that's going to increase their lifestyle, things that, so that they can maintain their lifestyle and also never have the fear of falling and be more independent. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and ask. If you want to set up a discovery call, please click the link below and you can talk to us about more about, hey, if you have somebody that is in the elderly population and needs to work on this, or if you just want to get stronger, healthier, feel better about yourself, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to help you. So take it easy. Bye.